Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 71 of Diehlman at Halftime, the NBA podcast that tops all others. I'm your host, Larry Diehlman. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome aboard, and if you've been a loyal listener, welcome back. We have much to get to today and not a lot of time to do it. We have 4 sections that we'll get into: a general overview of the NBA this week, and our usual highlight, lowlight, and random stat. Let's get to our content for the week. This is now the second Sunday in a row we've had a trade. The Phoenix Suns are sending Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th pick in Wednesday's draft, and 5 second-round picks. Despite the Suns' championship aspirations with Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, they never lived up to the hype. This was the second failed super team Durant was a part of after his time in Golden State, the other one being Brooklyn with James Harden and Kyrie Irving. The Rockets are pairing Durant with Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith, and Amen Thompson. Houston was the number 2 seed in the West behind Oklahoma City, but they lost in 7 to the Warriors in a first-round upset. Houston's window of contention is open for the next few years, with Durant showing no signs of slowing down. Meanwhile, Phoenix receives some badly needed draft picks. Green can grow next to Booker as the Suns start a new chapter under head coach Jordan Ott. NBA free agency opens next Monday, June 30th, so we'll see if other major moves happen soon. Another team is about to be under new ownership as of Wednesday. The LA Lakers are being sold to TWG Global CEO and Chairman Mark Walter for $10 billion. This sale will become the largest sale of a professional sports franchise in the world. The previous record was only a few months ago when the Boston Celtics sold for $6.1 billion. Jerry Buss bought the Lakers in 1979 for $67.5 million. In terms of a profit or percent increase, going from $67.5 million to $10 billion is an increase of 14,714.8%. When Buss died in 2013, the Lakers were passed to his children. His daughter Jeannie has run the Lakers since then, and she will continue her role as governor after the sale is completed. This isn't Walter's first time buying sports teams. Walter, a Lakers minority stakeholder since 2021, is also the primary owner and chairman for the MLB's LA Dodgers, the WNBA's LA Sparks, Andretti Global Racing, and the Professional Women's Hockey League, or PWHL. He has other minority stakes as well. The Lakers won 10 championships under Jerry Buss, and under Jeannie, they won a title in 2020 in the Orlando COVID bubble. Finally, when you're applying for a job, especially in the pro leagues, first impressions are everything. For one draft prospect, not so much. Rutgers star Ace Bailey, expected to be a top pick in this week's draft, abruptly canceled his visit with the Philadelphia 76ers. Bailey was supposed to fly to Philadelphia on Friday for a workout and dinner, but news of the cancellation came out on Wednesday night. He hasn't done any pre-draft workouts yet, and he's even declined ones from teams expected to take him in the top 10. Despite this, the Sixers aren't ruling out taking him at number 3. Bailey believes he's a top 3 pick, but he also, quote, seeks a clear pathway to stardom. Interestingly, in Philadelphia, Bailey would be at least the 4th option on offense after Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George, respectively. With this breaking development, will Bailey still be selected near the top on Wednesday night, or will he slide a few spots? The Oklahoma City Thunder won the 2025 NBA Finals in a thrilling 7-game series over the Indiana Pacers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was named Finals MVP. Even though it's technically the second title in team history, it's the first in Oklahoma City. The Thunder's predecessors, the Seattle Supersonics, claimed a championship in 1979. This is the Season 2 finale of Diehlman at Halftime, and this episode is entitled Veni, Vidi, Vici, which is the Latin phrase, I came, I saw, I conquered. For one final time this season, so, who's raising eyebrows at the moment? Let's go to our highlight, the Oklahoma City Thunder. We just witnessed one of the greatest runs in NBA history. The Oklahoma City Thunder defended home court in Game 7 on Sunday, 103-91, and took the Larry O'Brien Trophy. It all started in the regular season with a 68-14 record. They ran away with home court advantage in the Western Conference. 2 of the Thunder's series were blowouts and 2 went the distance. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averaged 30.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, 5.6 assists, 1.9 steals, and 1.6 blocks in the finals. He's only the 4th player in league history to win MVP and Finals MVP and be the scoring champion in the same year. The others, Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Michael Jordan. Gilgeous-Alexander is on a Hall of Fame path if he keeps this up. Next to SGA, Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren are great young talents. Williams took over in Game 5 with 40 points. In Game 7, Holmgren threw a block party with 5 rejections. The Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein offseason acquisitions were home runs. Caruso's gritty defense and Hartenstein being relentless on the glass were instrumental in this title. Cason Wallace and Lou Dort's defense made life miserable for their opponents. How could this get any better for the Thunder? This core is young, and they have a war chest of draft picks, including number 15 and number 24 in the first round of the NBA draft on Wednesday. The Thunder could draft new players or make trades. Oklahoma City has all the tools they need to dominate for years to come. Let's go to our lowlight, the Indiana Pacers. Give the Indiana Pacers their flowers because they were so close to their first championship. The Pacers set the tone in Game 1 in Oklahoma City. Tyrese Halliburton's pull-up jumper with 0.3 seconds left let the Thunder know this wouldn't be an easy series. Indiana had answered every obstacle in their first 3 series, and they were answering the Thunder's too all series long, before they were dealt the final blow. In Game 7, Halliburton suffered a torn Achilles in the first quarter and was ruled out for the game. He was off to what could have been an all-timer, hitting 3 of 4 triples in 7 minutes. With Halliburton out, the Pacers' core struggled. TJ McConnell was an exception with 16 points off the bench. McConnell, who was great all series, dropped 12 straight third-quarter points in Game 7. It was Indiana's lone source of offense for a stretch. Pascal Siakam was quiet in the later stages of Game 7, which made a Thunder win more imminent. Guys like Benedict Mathurin and Miles Turner had inconsistent moments this series, but Mathurin had a team-high 24 points in Game 7 off the bench. On a positive note, Indiana put together one of the greatest playoff runs we've ever seen. I know I just said that about the Thunder, but the Pacers did too. Upset after upset, comeback after comeback. Unfortunately, the Pacers now shift from getting over a heartbreaking loss to questioning how good they'll be in 2025-26 without Halliburton. He'll be out most, if not all, of next year. With Turner being the only major free agent and assuming he re-signs, can Indiana shock the world again next season? To get more insight into the NBA Finals Game 7, we have our 21st and final guest on Diehlman at Halftime Season 2. Although the finals are now over, please note that this interview was recorded before Game 7. Let's get into it. So for our 21st and final guest of season 2 on the Diehlman at Halftime podcast, we welcome back Nick Earnshaw. Nick is the radio station coordinator at 91.5 WDBK FM at Camden County College in Blackwood, New Jersey. In addition, he's a fill-in host and board operator for 97.3 ESPN FM South Jersey and a freelance play-by-play broadcaster for the University of Pennsylvania. Formerly, Nick was a producer at 94.1 WIP in Philadelphia, and he went to Camden County College for 2 years before transferring to Rowan University for his final 2 years and graduating with a communication and media studies degree in 2022. Nick, how are we today?
I'm doing great, Larry. Thank you so much for asking me back for the season finale. And we got one more great game to go. I mean, this has just been an unbelievable basketball season. If you're a basketball fan, you love this series. I cannot wait to talk about it with you today.
It's just been crazy overall. And for those of you that have been listening, Nick was on for our 50th episode earlier in the season, and now he's back for the season finale. And we have a very important game coming up. So it's good to get you back. So, Nick, I wanted to get your thoughts on the NBA Finals as the series is going to a win or go home Game 7 on Sunday in Oklahoma City. My first question for you, the Thunder went up early in Game 6 on Thursday, but the Pacers bounced back and destroyed them. What did you see that led to a quick turnaround? Because the Thunder went up early in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden, Andrew Nembhard hit a couple threes, and after maybe halftime, it was over.
Yeah, listen, this game 6 was unbelievable. I thought that would probably be over. I thought OKC would wrap it up in 6, and it was done. First quarter, you're like, yeah, I think OKC still has this. And then 68-32 run across the second quarter and third quarter for the Pacers. Just ridiculous. I mean, this Pacers team, you can't count them out, Larry. They just find ways to win. There is no rhyme or reason for it. And it's been unbelievable. I thought their defense was really good, and they forced turnovers. They forced OKC into some bad mistakes. I mean, SGA, he had 8 turnovers in the game. That was really the difference. And then, I mean, Indiana was just hitting their shots, and OKC could not hit their shots. I mean, from 3, what were they, 20, just under 27% from beyond the arc in Game 6, Oklahoma City. So honestly, it was a pretty simple game there, Larry. Like with the Pacers, in that second and third quarter, they just dominated defensively, forced OKC into making mistakes, and then they were just hitting their shots, and then they kind of cruised right into that fourth quarter. It got a little closer than you thought, but I mean, they took starters out and stuff like that. But listen, this was an unbelievable game. Pacers held home court, and you just can't count them out. And man, leading into Game 7, I'm so torn on this series. It's been so back and forth, and to see the Pacers really dominate in that fashion, the momentum really has swung to Halliburton. I know he's hurt, and all of these guys, Pascal Siakam. Did you see that play on that steal from Halliburton? The spin, no look pass, Siakam throwing it down. I mean, Larry, I couldn't believe it. I was jumping out of my seat. I'm a Sixers fan. Got TJ McConnell. I mean, process guy. Yeah, OKC followed the blueprint of the process. I should be upset, but I'm loving it. It's great basketball, Larry.
It was definitely a very interesting game, and I was watching it last night and just very surprised how the Pacers turned the tide in a quick amount of time. Looking at the box score, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the Thunder, of course, with 21 points, kind of a light night for him. Chet Holmgren not going to get it done with 4 points. On the Pacers side of things, 16 and 13 for Siakam. Obi Toppin was the lead scorer for the Pacers with 20 points, and he came off the bench. So that tells you all you need to know about the all-around scoring and all the around effort from the team. And like you had said about that poster, it was a quick turnover, Halliburton with a no-look, and Siakam put Jalen Williams on a poster, and then he proceeded to hit a turnaround buzzer beater over Caruso to end the half, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of these games. I figured the game was over pretty much, and I know they pulled the starters in the fourth quarter. I knew the game was over at the end of the third quarter when Ben Shepherd hit a buzzer beater from like 28 feet, and I'm like, yeah, it's done. We're done. They pull the starters, no. But what I saw people on social media point out last night, and there's been this ongoing running gag for the Pacers that like they're like possessed or they got this devil magic on their side. And there was a picture of Siakam last night while they were in the huddle, and he looks up and just the shot, it was like you could see like the white in his eyeballs, like as if he was like possessed or something. People were like, "Yup, there's the devil magic right there," and they need Siakam to do that again in Game 7. So I don't know what they got going on in that huddle, but definitely what a team all around. And yeah, I think the Pacers have momentum going into Sunday.
I'll just add something, Larry, real quick. Like that little soundbite that you talked about, or that video picture of Siakam with it looked like his eyes were in the back of his head. He was like the Undertaker. You know, remember the Undertaker in WWE would always do that? I mean, I don't want to mess with a team who has guys having a little bit of demons before the game. So, I mean, you kind of knew who was going to win that one before it even started, Larry. I had to jump in on that one because that was hysterical. I've been seeing all the memes about that for sure.
It was definitely crazy, but one series or like one comeback, you're like, all right. But then they make a comeback in every single series, and I don't know. So I don't know what Rick Carlisle is cooking in that locker room, but it's definitely helping. So next, TJ McConnell, like you said, has been dominant off the bench. In 4 of the 6 games versus the Thunder, he's had at least 10 points. He flirted with a triple-double in Game 6, and across the entire series, he's averaging 2.3 steals per game. Does every team need a TJ McConnell to be successful? And what do you like about his game?
I mean, it can't hurt, right? To have a guy like TJ coming off of the bench. I mean, he's a guy who hustles. He brings energy to the court. He'll play defense. He can control the pace of the game as well. He can put pressure on opposing teams defensively. Man, I mean, that's a guy I want coming off the bench. So I don't think it's crazy to say if you need a TJ McConnell like player on your roster. Guy's been around for a long time. I mentioned earlier, he's a process sixer. I love seeing him, have success with the Pacers in this series. And he's just been so good overall. And, to be that impactful coming off the bench at his size and what he's had to go throughout his career, I mean, there's nothing like it. You need energy guys on your team. And what do they call him? The Great White Hope? I think that's like his nickname or whatever. So they love him. I mean, I believe he's had 60 plus points, 25 plus assists, 15 plus rebounds. It's unprecedented for any single bench player to have that in an NBA Finals. Listen, he is an important, integral part to this roster. And, yes, you need stars at times, but we've seen in this NBA now, especially in today's day and age, you need depth. And he brings that to the table for the Pacers. He's a strong leader. He's an energizing force coming off the bench. And I think teams need that. If you don't have that, you're not going to go very far, especially in the playoffs. When things tighten up and they get into the half-court setting, TJ McConnell is a guy that you want on your roster. So, listen, he's forcing turnovers. He's shooting it well. I mean, that mid-range shot, I mean, nothing's better than a TJ McConnell midi, right, Larry? So, yes, I think you do need a TJ McConnell-like player on your team.
Going back to like the process days, and obviously we miss him very much in Philly, considering what our lovely Sixers are doing nowadays. But he just comes off the bench. I don't know what is with him. And going back to the devil magic and not even talking about that, but he just plays like he's possessed on every play. I don't care if they're up by 10 or down by 10. He plays like they're down by 30 every play. Like he's always just hustling. He goes for those steals. There have been a couple times in this series. One was, I think, Caruso. One was J-Dub, where it was just a lazy inbound pass, and McConnell was just like, "Oh, thank you very much," and they just immediately scored. And you can't do that, no matter if TJ McConnell's at half court, you can't be throwing lazy passes, and you can't take your eyes off him. So him scoring off the bench, he can get steals off the bench, he can get some rebounds. That mid range is disgusting. So he just brings a new energy that you definitely need to win in the NBA Finals and just the playoffs in general. And you could probably make a fair argument that he is their version of Alex Caruso. I know Alex Caruso is well-known defensive player and he all defensive team, but McConnell, I guess, is their equivalent to that too. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. And, he's a pest. Like, you always have those players like the Pat Bevs of the world, the Carusos, the TJ McConnells that are just pests, and you can't stand playing them because, like you mentioned, they could be up 30, down 30. When he's in, he's playing like it's down 30 every single time. So he's one of those guys that you can't stand playing against, especially because on the defensive side, he's gonna nag you. Like, He's just around you all the time. He's going to try and steal, try to poke you. Like it's amazing the way he's able to force turnovers and be a pest on the defensive side. Those are players that you just can't stand playing against because they're annoying. And, those are winning type players, though. You need those glue guys on your roster, guys that come off the bench defensively that can give you a spark. And that's what TJ McConnell brings you. He can bring you a spark and be a pest on the defensive side and force turnovers. And that's why you saw such a big blowout yesterday, because the Pacers forced turnovers, and he was a massive part of that. So when you have a player with the defensive prowess of TJ McConnell and being annoying on the defensive side, that will help any team. And those usually what championship teams do have.
When you go to the bench, you have McConnell, who's a pest, and you think Halliburton and Siakam go to the bench, and you're like, all right, bet. And then McConnell comes in, you're like, damn it.
You're like,
And then
oh,
and then
yeah,
TJ comes
exactly.
comes off, he goes off the court, and Halliburton's in, you're like, can I get a break?
I win.
So
Can we win here? Like, can we get a something, just a break from one of these guys? Like at some point, and yeah, TJ McConnell just keeps the pressure on.
yeah, TJ McConnell definitely been a factor. I've been kind of half joking. I'll be watching a play, he'll get a steal, and I'm like, yeah, there's my Finals MVP right there. So I'm not
Absolutely.
saying he will, but man, wouldn't that be funny? All right, so next, Pacers Thunder will be the first finals to go to 7 games since Cavs Warriors in 2016, which was the infamous 3-1 Warriors choke that led to Kevin Durant eventually signing with Golden State. That was Cavs Warriors Part 2, by the way. There were 4 installments of that series. That was Part 2. Were you expecting Pacers Thunder to go the distance, maybe a sweep or gentleman sweep by OKC or Indiana? Now, going into the playoffs, when I made my playoff bracket, I had Celtics in 6 over Thunder, LOL. When the finals came around, I said Thunder in 5. Oops. So, what were your thoughts on how many games this was going?
Yeah, so originally I had said Thunder in 6. So I would have been right if they won last night. I would have been like, oh, I got it right. I can finally predict something properly. That didn't happen. Indiana said in the second quarter, Nick, you're going to be wrong again. So, yeah, I had Thunder in 6 originally. I thought it'd be a testy series. Does it shock me it's going 7? No, just because of the weird way Indiana finds a way to win games. I mean, it's just so unprecedented, some of the ways they've won games coming down to the wire. I mean, even in the Knicks series, they were unreal in that series in close games. So, like in close games, I don't want to play the Pacers. Like that's a team I don't want to play. Originally, I thought it was going to be closer than people thought because I saw so many people saying, "Oh, it's going to be a sweep of the Thunder. Oh, they'll win in 5." I said, "No, I'm giving Indiana more credit. They're hot. They win in close games, and that's what you need to do in the playoffs. And they play defense on occasion. So, I was like, okay, so you'll probably win it. They have more talent in my estimation, but it'll be in 6. Now you're going to a game 7. OKC's 18-2 following a loss this season. That's including the playoffs. They're undefeated 6-0 following a loss. So, I mean, they're at home. Home court usually helps as well when you're in that final game. So, but I can't count Indiana because they have the momentum now. They just blew out OKC. The only problem is of how good OKC can bounce back after a loss like that. So this game 7 might be an all-timer. And this series, by the way, has been an all-timer, Larry. Like, I know everyone's talking about the ratings and it's 2 smaller markets. If you love basketball, this has been one of the best series you've seen since maybe 2016, right? Like this has been an unbelievable series back and forth. It's a new generation. It's kind of turning the chapter on, the LBJs, the KDs, the Currys of the world. It's the young guys' turn. It's the Halliburtons. It's the SGAs. So that's another reason why I've loved this series so much. And I don't care what the ratings are. I've enjoyed it. And I think basketball fans who truly love the game have enjoyed it too.
At least we weren't playing solitaire during a fast break.
No, I was not. I'm not a big solitaire fan anyway. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, don't play. You shouldn't be playing solitaire during this series. There hasn't been any boring parts.
Nah, ESPN, they're just mad that it's not like Lakers Celtics or Lakers or I'm sorry, like
Yeah,
Cavs
right.
Warriors or Celtics Warriors. But like you said, the last couple of series, like the last couple finals, there have been some memorable ones here and there, but like the last couple have kind of been duds. In 2023, Nobody thought the Heat were going to upset the Nuggets. Stop it. Then last year, the Celtics, they were going to wipe the floor with the Mavericks. Once they were picking on Luka, on defense, that series was over in 5. And now this year, we all thought, well, okay, the Thunder, yep, get the broomsticks or get the gentleman's broomsticks out. But it's just been a very good series. And for all of us ball knowers, it's just been a very good series to watch. And it's going 7. I mean, it has to be something good if it's going to 7 for the first time in almost a decade, going back to the Cavs Warriors. Now, I'm not saying it's going to live up to the Cavs Warriors hype because that was an all time 3-1 choke, and the Warriors had one of the best seasons ever. But yeah, I think it's just broken people's expectations, and it's just been a good series all around. Tyrese Halliburton has been on fire, and so has SGA, and the cores have been great on both teams. It's been interesting because Tyrese Halliburton can be cold and he can get hot at times. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll see which Tyrese Halliburton we get. But if we get red hot Tyrese Halliburton, look out. So to wrap things up, who's winning the championship on Sunday? Will it be a blowout, or is it going down to the wire?
I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be close. Halliburton is hurt, so he's playing through that. It's calf injury, I believe. And man, I think OKC is going to win it. I think it's going to come down to the last minute, though. It's going to be like one missed shot, maybe, by Indiana. I can't see it being a blowout. It's going to be too close. Indiana, they're going to fight. So I don't see this one being a blowout. I think it's going to be really close. I think OKC might squeak it out. So I'm going to stick with my pick in OKC. But, man, it will not shock me if Indiana finds some stupid way to win, because that's how they've won some of these games. Just dumb. I just can't. You can't wrap your head around some of the ways they've won. But I will just stay with my pick in OKC. They'll win Game 7. They'll be the champions this season, Larry.
I swear, if we see another Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater, pull-up jumper, step back, triple that hits the rim 5 times, no. I swear if we see that, the internet's going to blow up or something. It's going to actually be insanity. So I agree with you. I think the Thunder are going to get it done. Game 7 in the playoffs is just nothing to joke around with. The home team, it is backed up with stats that they usually win most of the time. That's why you always want home court advantage in the playoffs for this specific purpose. I just think that the Thunder, they have a great fan base. Not to say Indiana does not, but Oklahoma City has a great fan base. They're hungry for this championship. They have 68 wins in the regular season. I think it'll also come down to the wire. Let's see here. Let's go with 115. 112, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander obviously is going to get Finals MVP. I think, yeah, it'll come down to like a missed shot or a bad sequence or something. This could be an all-timer, and it'll definitely be one for the ages. Do you have a score prediction or a hot take Finals MVP or whatever?
Yeah, I'm going to go SGA as the Finals MVP. I'll go score for me. I'll go 104, 103.
Ooh, 1 point victory.
104, 103.
Wow.
It's how the series is gone. It's going to be close. I feel it's going to be close.
I just think the Thunder, they need Chet Holmgren to not score 4 points again. Jalen Williams, if he can channel whatever he had going on in Game 5, that'd be great for them. And again, just Tyrese Halliburton being aggressive, and hopefully that calf strain heals up at least somewhat before Sunday. It's going to be a great game. So, Nick, thank you so much for coming back on Diehlman at Halftime, and we hope to see you next season.
All right, thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Always love talking ball with you.
Let's head over to our random stat. With the 2024-25 season behind us, let's laugh at Larry's playoff bracket predictions. My finals winner back in April was Boston over Oklahoma City in 6. After the first round, my bracket fell off a cliff. Starting in the play-in tournament, I correctly predicted the 7th seeds of Golden State and Orlando. The 2 8th seeds were wrong, though. Memphis and Miami made it instead of Dallas and Chicago. In the first round, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, New York, and Boston were my correct picks to advance to the conference semifinals. This would be good, except the latter 3 are from the East. The Thunder are the only Western team here. Basically, the Western Conference quickly decimated my bracket. But I called New York in 6 and Boston in 5. Once the Knicks took down the Celtics, that part was busted. I thought Cleveland would at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pacers didn't agree. However, I did predict an Eastern Conference Finals of 6 games. Over in the West, Oklahoma City steamrolled their way to the finals. I had a hunch they would given their firepower. Although I took the Clippers instead of the Nuggets in their first round series, I was correct for the 7-game prediction. The Lakers' lack of a center and the Rockets' youth ended another chunk of my bracket. Lastly, since the finals went to a Game 7, my guess of 6 games was wrong. At least I had the Thunder in the finals to begin with. Out of 36 predictions, combining series outcomes and number of games, I had 14 of 36, which is 38.9%. Last year's percentage was the exact opposite, 22 of 36. So I saw decreases for both games of the week correct predictions and playoff bracket predictions from season 1. Everybody relax, I'm due for a bounce back next season. Hopefully. As we've done in years past, I'd like to conclude this episode with a section I call Note from the Author. We have reached the end of Season 2 of the Diehlman at Halftime podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my amazing guests this season, and I'll try to go quickly here. Christy Pietro, Lloyd Wilson, Danny Ryan, Nick Earnshaw, Derek Jones, Josh Hennig, Kai Carlin, Austin Krell, Aaron Hook, Sam Prince, Justin Turpin, Josh Reynolds, Keith Pompey, Noah Levick, Sean Bernard, Eric Vincent, Rod Boone, Jerry Donassian, and Chris Smith. To put this into perspective from last year, I had 6 guests in 7 appearances last year. Christy Pietro was a repeat. This year, we had 19 guests in 21 appearances, with Chris and Nick Earnshaw being repeats. Additionally, this season, we had 2 guests in the initial 13 episodes. Across the final 23 episodes, I had 19 guests. It's been awesome to showcase not only my acquaintances, but writers and reporters in the NBA community. I'd also like to thank you, the listeners. While I do enjoy creating this podcast, my listeners are my audience, and that puts a smile on my face. Because of your support, we hit the 50th episode of the Diehlman at Halftime podcast on January 27th, which was the 15th episode this season. What a great milestone. Next season, most likely during the playoffs, we'll hit episode number 100. At the conclusion of Season 1, I mentioned about possible changes. Those were the platform shift from SoundCloud to Buzzsprout and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., and more guests. As we transition to Season 3, there might be some more major changes. Mark your calendars as we'll start back up on Monday, October 20th, 2025. Until then, have a great summer and see you in the fall. Well, that's all the time we have for today. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on social media. I have 2 X or Twitter accounts and 2 Instagram accounts. The podcast accounts are under @Diehlman_NBA for both X and Instagram. My personal X account is @LarryDiehlman18, and my personal Instagram is @Mr_Sports18. They're also in the description on Buzzsprout, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you to Nick Earnshaw for being our guest this week on the podcast. Remember, you can follow him on X and Instagram @NEarnshawRadio. And don't forget to spread the word about Diehlman at Halftime. See you next season, fellow Hoops fans, and as we alluded to in the title, go out and conquer.